You know, Spider-Man is, at least Brand New Day, is racing now towards becoming the third highest grossing film in history. Now, whether it can get to number two or number one, that remains to be seen, but it has made all the money. We've been talking about it for weeks now, just about how impressive it's been. The official number right now, although it's actually higher than this, the numbers haven't updated yet, but officially as of this moment, the number sits at $2.2 billion. The actuals are a little bit higher than that, but again, those numbers will come in a little bit. And you know, yesterday I did an open mic, and on the open mic, kind of a topic came up about, you know, what are the things that went into Spider-Man making that much money. And one of the things that I talked about was that, well, you know, the fact that Marvel has kind of been turning things around the last 2 years. Like that big consistency problem we've had for ever since Endgame seems to have been course corrected with quality projects, right? And that has not the reason Spider-Man has been so successful. It would have been really successful anyway, but I said, that's one of the things. So somebody said, you know what you should do? Talk about the 5 reasons why Spider-Man has achieved this ridiculous amount of success. So that's what we're going to do. Now, let me say this before we start jumping into my 5 at any rate. This truly is a situation where it takes a village. You know, it's not just 5 reasons why Spider-Man Brand New Day has already passed $2.2 billion. There's a lot of other ones as well. These are just the 5 that really stand out to me, and while there's more. But before I get into the 5, I have to at least mention one honorable mention that I didn't put on my 5. And I'm kind of doing this in case Rob was here. Rob would have been saying this one too. Is that, while again, none of these are the reason, these are all just contributing things. I think part of it is that Zendaya and Tom Holland as a couple have become America's sweethearts. They've just become America's sweethearts. They are TMZ fodder. They are everything. Like, everybody just loves them as a couple. And I think their popularity as a couple has kind of gone into helping the movie. But that's an honorable mention. That's an honorable mention. So let's go into my 5 things here. And I'm just going to list all of them very quickly, and then we'll go into each one. So here are the 5, what I think are the 5 primary reasons that Spider-Man's done so well. Number 1, the quality of the previous 3 Spider-Man films. Number 2, Spider-Man may just be globally the most popular superhero. Number 3, again, what I talked about yesterday on Open Mic, the MCU has been showing a return to consistent quality. Number 4, the pure excitement about Doomsday has contributed to it. And number 5, and maybe most importantly, it's just a damn excellent movie. The movie is just fantastic. And that has certainly helped with it a lot. So let me just go through each one of these ones quickly. Number 1, the quality of the 3 previous films. The John Watts films were wonderful. You know, they were, and that was a tall task, guys. It was a tall task they were facing because they were rebooting Spider-Man like for the 3rd time in just a handful of years. We had gone from Tobey to Andrew, and now all of a sudden we're rebooting him again. And it was a tall order, and what John Watts was able to do with Far From Home, No Way Home, Homecoming, I just thought was wonderful. I love all 3 of those movies. Now, I do think this one is the best of the Tom Holland movies, but I think the very fact, it's not a coincidence that you saw the box office building as the movies progressed, because every time they put one out, it was just really good. And that absolutely, because if all 3 of those movies were stinkers, we would not be sitting here talking about a Spider-Man Brand New Day being a $2.2 billion film. Like, I don't think anybody on the planet would disagree with that. If those 3 films had all been bad, we would certainly not be sitting here talking about a $2.2 billion Brand New Day. Just would not be happening. And yet, here we are. It is what's happened. So let's go over to the second one. Spider-Man is probably globally the most popular superhero. I mean, there could be an argument here with Batman as well, which is fair enough. There could be an argument, but there's certainly no doubt that you can feel comfortable saying he is the most, and you're certainly not wrong if you at least say one of the most. And that obviously has gone into not only helping Brand New Day, but of course has also helped the other Spider-Man movies as well. All right. Then we move on to the MCU looking like a return to quality over the last couple of years. And look, we won't relitigate the whole thing we did on open mic last night, but one of the point I made was that since Endgame, up until Endgame, Marvel was always up here. After Endgame, it was hit and miss, hit and miss. Every time you'd have like a great, I don't know, Shang-Chi, you'd then get a Black Widow. For every Guardians of the Galaxy 3 you had an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. For every WandaVision you had an Avenger, or you had a Secret Invasion, right? It was just so blotched, up and down, absolutely no consistency. And as I always say on this show, we went from, whenever we would go to a Marvel project, we went from expecting it to be excellent, and that got downgraded to whenever we'd go to a Marvel project, we just hoped it would be good. We went from expecting it to be excellent to hoping it would be good. But in the last little while, that has started to change, right? They have done a lot more right. And I'm not necessarily talking box office, because certainly Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four didn't blow it out of the water with box office. But the fact of the matter is, Thunderbolts, I like it more than most people, was a very good movie. Fantastic Four, I didn't like quite as much, but I thought it was a solid, fun film, man. And I went to go see it 2-3 times. Wonder Man was way better than had any business being. I think Daredevil Born Again has been a very, very solid show. You had Deadpool and Wolverine was great. Yeah, we had Captain America, oopsie doopsie 4. Yeah, okay, so that was the one stumble. But overall, they have just really been getting themselves back on track. And I absolutely believe that over the past year and a half or two, the audience has slowly been starting to gain confidence in the MCU again. And I think that has contributed, not the cause, but contributed to Spider-Man's success. Number 4, you're sticking your head in the sand if you don't think the overall excitement about Doomsday also contributed. As do I believe the excellence of Spider-Man is going to contribute to the success of Doomsday as well. It's a symbiotic relationship. But yeah. I absolutely believe, there you go. Absolutely. Yeah, see what I did there? It's absolutely the big hype and momentum behind Doomsday absolutely played a part. It absolutely played a part. And again, at number 5 for me, it's just an excellent movie. Because look, you could have broken the all-time opening weekend box office record, which it did with 360 million. That's great. If the movie wasn't really good, the momentum then dies. And you don't get to 2.2 billion. But the fact of the matter is, people have been going back repeatedly. People have been telling their other friends they need to go see it. People have been dragging their other friends to go see it. And it's just being an excellent movie is probably the biggest contributor to this. So again, there's more than just this. It's not any one of them, but I think 5 of the big contributing factors here is the quality of the 3 previous films, Spider-Man being globally the most popular character, MCU returning to form, the Doomsday excitement, and Spider-Man 5 or Spider-Man Brand New Day just being an excellent, excellent film. So anyway, Kristian, you're sitting in your laboratory out there in New York, and you're watching all this unfolding. Spider-Man's closing in on the number 3 spot of all time. What do you see as being the main contributing factors to that?
Well, those top 5 ones that you have in there, I would say, even though you said, it's not just those, it's just part of it. A lot of those top 5 were my top 5. And even when you said at the end there with that's a damn good movie, you mentioned my number 6, which would be the repeat viewing aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because it's just so good and people want to see it, they're going back, and that is going to always add into whether or not you keep crossing over. Are people going back to the theater to watch it, which is not an easy trick to do these days. It's hard enough to get people to go in the theater to see it once, much less twice, 3 times, and that's this kind of movie. The other thing that added to it was the early inclusion of the IMAX screenings. Because they took out Odyssey a little earlier and added, no, was it the major factor? No, but it's just another reason of adding a little bit more money, because people then said, oh, hey, I saw it once and I saw it in Dolby. Now I want to see it in IMAX. And so that happened. The other main reason, which kind of is what you were mentioning, but I think that it should be brought up, is that this movie is an event film.
Yeah.
And it's what a lot of things used to be, but ceased to be. And instead of just studios putting out big, huge movies just for the sake of it, this felt special, as we were saying, and it's because of everything that you had mentioned with the cast chemistry, the fact that what everything that they had been through before, that this was essentially a sequel to that big huge brand, No Way Home, and leading off of that into that. I mean, that's another crucial thing. Yes, the movies were all three of those were good, but brand new. I keep saying that, not Brand New Day, but No Way Home was such a big movie, and because you brought all three of the Spider-Mans together, and then there was this cliffhanger of an ending, you're like, where's it gonna go? And then because you had so much time in between,
Yeah.
it built up the anticipation. You're like, wait a minute, what's happening with this guy? Is it gonna be a ground Spider-Man? Is this gonna ground level Spider-Man? Is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? And so that just made it feel more special. And the other thing, which is a smaller factor, but I think still a major thing, you look at all the hype right now out of D23, and the major thing that everybody, when we talked about it on your show during that panel, was who's going to be the X-Men? Who's going to be the X-Men? The X-Men,
Yeah.
X-Men, X-Men. You get the first real introduction of those X-Men in this movie. That's going to be their future moving forward. So that bit of, even though it was the worst kept secret ever, it still was a great marketing tool. And so it helped out. Who's she going to be? Who's she going to be? And that also plays into, you mentioned before with Zendaya and Tom Holland bringing people in because they're the couple. Let's not forget about Sadie Sink and her youthful audience from Stranger Things and everything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
By bringing in, it's the reason certain movies, like, we forget we're at a generation where we want to see movies, we want to go and see stuff, but a lot of us are just streaming it from our couch. The goal is to get the young people in the theater. This movie did that.
Yeah. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Spider-Man just continues to keep on rolling. It's heading towards being probably the number 3 all-time box office film. What do you attribute it to? Now, the real answer is that there's dozens of reasons that make up the whole thing, but what are some of the key ones to you? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Quince. August is a great time to reset a few things before fall gets crazy, and one of the easiest places to start is your closet. That's where Quince comes in. Quince is all about fewer, better pieces made with premium materials that are designed to actually last. We're talking ultra soft organic cotton tees, Mongolian cashmere sweaters, premium denim, and tailored chinos starting at just $60. And here's what really stands out. Quince prices everything 50 to 80% less than similar brands by working directly with ethical factories and cutting out the middlemen. So you end up paying for the quality, not some giant markup. I've already ordered a number of things from their store. As a matter of fact, I love this shirt. It looks great, and most importantly, it's crazy comfortable. Upgrade your everyday. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers, or go to quince.com/Campea. Get free shippings on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/Campea.